Hey, how you doing? So I wanted to share with you an astral experience that I had that held tremendous healing for me. And I just want to share this experience just to help articulate the great potential with the out-of-body states and how they can be transformative and very transpersonal experiences, and that how you can get some very interesting work done, healing work and soul work done in the astral plane. Now, I know the concept of the out-of-body state is like a super controversial one. Some people just, think it's hogwash, or just like for the esoteric weirdos out there. But it is a very tangible and visceral state of experience that many people have had. So an out-of-body experience is the experience where your consciousness detaches from your physical body and you are completely aware and completely present and lucid and are able to travel through space and through time as well in some circumstances, and have experiences. Now, the out-of-body state can be like a spontaneous one where it just happens and it feels very random, or it can be activated and triggered and made to happen, induced to happen as well. So that's a whole other video itself on how to induce an out-of-body experience. But for this video, I'm going to share with you an experience that I had that helped heal me and transform me. So my out-of-body experience happened in the morning. So when I left my body, I could feel the sunlight in the room, and it felt very much like the morning. And I was really drawn to the window, as I always am in an out-of-body experience, because it's like a portal to exit and go on adventures. So I flew through the window and out into a scene in front of me where there was this huge oak tree, and I decided I'm gonna fly over to that oak tree. I know I'm meant to sit in the branches of that oak tree. So I went over to it and I sat up high in the branches and I waited. I just knew that I was waiting for something or for someone, and I just had this knowing. So as I was sitting there waiting, of course I was consciously going through my mind like, who am I waiting for? Am I waiting for some kind of like guide to help me, or some kind of like teacher? So I was kind of wondering what it was. And as I was wondering what it was, I saw some movement below me on the grass, and I saw a pig. And there was a pig just sort of, snout in the earth, just sort of moving around. And I laughed. I was like, oh yeah, so typical. I'm waiting for something to happen, and it's always something random, like, hey, it's a pig. And so I thought, okay, great, I'm ready. I'm gonna fly down there. So I flew down and towards the pig, and the pig ran away, and then the pig stopped. And then the pig started to run towards me, and I was just sort of floating there. And it was running towards me, and as it did, it turned into one of my exes. And it startled me so much. And this dream startled me because there was a lot of hurt and pain from this ex. So it all brought to my attention. Then a really odd thing happened. I was sort of pulled back into my room. And I was pulled back into the room. Then my ex was there again, and I just hugged him, and I felt really pathetic. I was like crying, like, why did you break up with me? It was like it was a release, an emotional release, but there was something in me that was still like really couldn't get over the relationship. And I'm talking like, this is 20 years ago. So, but there was a lot of pain there. So I was like releasing, and he wasn't comforting me at all. He was just standing there very cold and very like, I'm good, I don't need you, and what's mine is mine, and what's yours is yours. And for some reason that really, really healed me. It healed me a lot. It made me feel like, yeah, I'm just releasing all this stuff, and you're gone on with your life, I've gone on with my life, and this is good, this is okay. I woke up with tears, like I was crying, and I just integrated the entire experience. I felt really lifted, and I felt like part of my soul was able to just move on. And I felt very healed by this out-of-body experience. So it's an example of healing that can get done very consciously in these really interesting liminal states. And it felt as though with this experience, and it makes me kind of wonder about ourselves too, aspects of ourselves. When we're deeply wounded, or we experience trauma in some kind of way, that there is a part of us that gets dislodged from us in some kind of way, that we get fragmented. And I know with people who've been through post-traumatic stress, I know the aspects of them feel slightly fragmented. And just to use like a visual metaphor, it's like shards of glass. So when your glass, and you get hit, and the shards get scattered around because they're slightly broken. So I like to use this as a visual metaphor, that when we suffer trauma or pain, we get cracked, and there's like shards that have extended out there somewhere. And I kind of feel like when I do astral work or work in the out-of-body states, I am able to retrieve some of these shards and bring them back home to me and to integrate them. So in a way, it's like that, the concept of soul retrieval. So you hear about those two buzzwords, soul retrieval. It's like retrieving aspects of yourself that have been fragmented from your wholeness. And I really feel like this is just one example, but I've had many experiences in the astral planes where it feels like I've been retrieving fragments of myself, my wounded self. So this is an example of what I think is a soul retrieval within the astral state. That's just my theory. Of course, you might disagree with it entirely, and that's totally cool too. But whatever it was a really healing experience, and that's what counts, right? So I would love to hear if you have had anything like that, any experiences at all in the out-of-body states that felt deeply transformative. And now it doesn't necessarily have to be a healing story. It could be a creepy, scary one too, but they're valid experiences of your consciousness. So I'd love to hear about them and love to hear about your exploration. Leave a comment below, and also hit subscribe. I make lots of videos of all of things dreaming, the astral plane, dream work, and entheogens, plants, entheogens, psychedelics. I'm all about consciousness exploration. And also don't forget to subscribe. Just hit the bell and you can get my latest videos when they come out. Also check out my book. It's called Dreams. It's on Amazon. Very easy to get. Just do a search on dreams and my name, Tree Carr. And I'll see you next time for the next video.